In this video, I'll be breaking down why AI is ruining your email marketing results, and I'll be going over the best email marketing retention strategies for 2026 so you can make more money out of your email list, make it the most profitable channel for your brand. These are the exact strategies that we use across 100 plus 7 to 9 figure brands and have generated $250 million through email in the process. It's also the same system that big players like AG1, Gru's, IM8, and Breeze are running right now, whether they realize it or not. And I promise that this will 100% work for you no matter the category you're in, whether it's supplement, beauty, apparel, pet, you name it. It's going to work, so let's get into it. Before I get into what's working right now, I want to diagnose a problem. Most brands, probably yourself, are suffering from this right now, and that is the AI slop era. With the developments in ChatGPT, Claude, and all these other AI tools coming out, people are starting to become over-reliant on AI, all the way to their detriment, and the results in their email marketing campaigns show this. They have AI plan their whole content calendar without giving it any insights on results, without giving it context on the brand, without looking at past winners. And they have AI just one shot write all this copy, and they follow basic templates and all this sort of stuff that just converts at the absolute bare minimum. But this is a broken setup. Email experts like myself can sense exactly what an AI email is. I've tried it. If I could get AI to run email for my 100 plus brands, I would save so much money on payroll because I have over 100 team members right now. But guess what? We don't use AI all that much. We still have copywriters, we still have designers. I would love to not have to need them. I'd save hundreds of thousands of dollars. But AI is just not good enough yet. And so we need to stop utilizing AI and using all the slop it gives us. We have AI mixed in with also the old ways of email marketing and how brands run email. Because still, the old way, and even with AI, brands are very last minute with their emails. They're not thinking strategically about their content calendars. They're coming up with emails same day and then putting together the email with a ton of AI slop and sending it out. It's exactly how most brands have been doing this for years, but now it's made even worse with the AI slop it's producing. But this is broken in 2026. The inbox is more crowded than ever, and subscribers are getting hit with tens of emails every single day. And just a random campaign produced by AI is not going to stand out and convert. The best way to scale your brand's emails is not just by sending more, but sending smarter. Brands that have figured this out are cooking, and they're following this 5-pillar email content flywheel. Instead of treating every campaign as its own standalone email that then AI produces in just a few seconds, these brands are using this ideation and planning flywheel. It's a predictable system backed by data that allows you to plan and create effective emails every single month. So let's get into it. It is super simple, and I've made this super simple on purpose. And this is the exact system that we use. And when we do use our expert AIs that we've trained with all of our data, this is what it's trained to produce our calendars on. And so we have 5 different content pillars that we want to attack. And I'm going to break these all down for you. We have educational emails, we have social proof emails, we have community and brand-based emails, we have product-based emails, and then we have our sales. And we want to have a rough, even split of all of these emails mixed into our calendar. You can adjust it a little bit here and there depending on the brand. Like maybe for some brands, you have to be a little bit more educational, like with a supplement or health brand, but you don't need to be very educational for a clothing brand. So maybe you lean a little bit more into product and community. But this is a great starting point to kind of like have an even match of all of them. So then the question is, how do you come up with these emails? And this is the exact order that we want to follow. First, we want to look at our past winners. It seems so obvious, but nobody does this. It absolutely boggles my mind how brands will have an email campaign that absolutely rips and they do nothing with it. And they don't try to resend to that email. And they don't implement it into their content calendars. One of the oldest rules in marketing is that customers need to be reminded more than they need to be taught. If you're a brand that sells creatine, for example, you will just overwhelm the customer if you try to teach them a new thing every single day. Instead, you need to remind them of your main core points. People forget, and they're seeing hundreds of brands every single day. So whatever your unique selling propositions are, we just need to remind. What are your key winners? And use those. And I'm going to show you how we can find those key winners using a tool that I like to use. When I say past winners, I literally mean you can resend emails that were winners. You can adjust the copy and design a little bit, but if you have an email that rips, reuse it. For example, I made this email years ago for this brand, and it was their best performing non-discount email of all time. And still, to this day, we make sure that we resend some variation of this email as often as we can. Like I'm saying, like literally monthly, you can resend this same sort of angle. And we also do the same sort of thing throughout our flows. Repeat your winners. It works every single time. So that's the first thing you want to look at. So my favorite way to do this is within Hero Analytics. We use this for all of our brands. It's a really good email analytics platform, and it gives you a lot more than what Klaviyo or OmniSend can give you. What I like to do is I like to look at show first time and returning customers, and then I can set my time period to whatever I want. I'm just going to look at this year. And then we can easily and very quickly look at our revenue. I like to also look at this tab of first time versus returning revenue. We can easily look at what our winners are based on what we're trying to look for. I like to look at returning customers versus first time purchase. So I can see right here, the returning customer revenue, and we can look at what are our clear winners. And the big ones that I like to look at are the non-discount emails that crush. If you want to look at just the first purchase revenue, then that's something that you could look at as well. And this also applies to things like email send time or day of the week. There's this tab right here for email send time, and you can look at day of the week. And I like to order here by revenue per recipient and look at what of our best performing days. And we can see middle of the week performs the best for this brand if we order by revenue per recipient. Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday crush, whereas the weekend, Sunday, Saturday do not perform well. And then Monday, it looks like people are a little bit busy, so they don't convert as well. Friday, pretty much the weekend, and so people aren't really buying right now. So with this information, I know that I want to go a little bit heavier on my sends in these days, and then I know what my best performers are by looking at our creatives and seeing what is converting the best. You can also do that analysis just within your email platform, super easy in either Klaviyo or OmniSend, whatever you're using. And then number two, another one that is blasphemous that people don't look at more is your winning ad and landing page angles. Like, what are you doing in your ads? Like, what are your winning ads recently? Why don't we just create an email around that whole angle that is performing really well? And then just like your actual landing page, like actually literally look at your landing page. And if you've run any A/B tests, for example, on your P2P page recently, testing like your product images, maybe you just included this image right here into your product page and it increased your conversion rate. Why don't we make an email off this? We can look at our ad library here, and you can know just by looking and communicating with your ad team, like, what are your winning ads? And let's just create a whole email around what that winning ad is. Like, for example, the end of I'm too tired. Maybe that's the winning angle this week. This was the ad that got the most spend. Well, why are we not sending emails? It's proven to work. So we want to make sure that every single month we are looking at our meta performance and tracking the angles that are working so that we can create emails off of them. And then number three, we have competitor swiping, or just any brand swiping their emails and following people like me to see what I post and what sort of strategies that I'm putting out there. So my favorite tool for getting inspiration and stealing from brands is on mild.com. You're able to follow your brands. So these are all the brands that I follow. And then it tracks every single email that these brands are sending so that you can click in and then you can look at kind of like what emails they're sending. So if this was my competitor, for example, Mave, like I sell dog food, for example, I can look in at these emails and be like, okay, what of these do I like and what can I steal for myself? So maybe I am looking through at this brand's emails and I like this angle. Nutrition is prevention. The best time to protect your dog's health is now. Maybe I'm like, that's a really good angle and I want to create an email myself that is like, hey, by the time your dog is sick or has joint health, it's too late. And so if you want to have a healthy, happy dog, you need to give them the proper nutrition to prevent these issues from happening. So I like to look at Mild and follow all of my brands, and every single day I look at all of these. And I am such a believer in this that I have every single person in my company send an email inspiration every single day of an email that they want to steal that they saw off Mild. So we don't have any clock-in forms or anything stupid like that to make people check in. The way that they check into their day and let us know that they're online is they send their email inspiration. This is going to help you round out some more of your email content calendar. I also highly recommend that you follow people like me because I'm always posting things and emails for inspiration and stuff that performs really well for us so that you can use them for yourself. And I also post this all the time in my email marketing course and community. You can see some of the activity here. There's over 180 members in here learning email marketing. I make a post every single day. Like today, I talked about custom post-purchase confirmation emails. And anytime anybody has a question, then we all share with each other and answer these questions. Also in the classroom, you have all the course content. You have over 300 email templates in here and resources that you can use. You have all of our prior call recordings because we have 2 calls every single week. And something new that I just started is every single YouTube video, including this one, is going to come with a custom document breaking everything down that I talked about, written out so that you can save it and reference it later. That is only going to be available inside my school community, so make sure you check it out. The link is going to be below. And again, there are 2 live calls every single week where you can directly ask me questions. There's generally nothing like this out there, and that's why there are over 180 members in here. And then lastly, to round everything out, we have AI ideation. Notice how we have not used any AI at all. We're just going through our past winners. We're going through our winning ad LP and angles. We're going through competitor swipes, and then we're putting a list of our favorite emails together and our favorite ideas that we want to include for this month of planning our email campaigns. And then finally, to round things out, we are going to use AI to help us put the dates for this together. Now, so typically we want to send 3 to 4 email campaigns every single week. I recommend an email every other day to our email list. This is just talking about our engaged, like 90-day engaged email list, people who have opened or clicked an email or have been active on our website in the past 90 days. So then we're just going to use simple prompting with AI to help us round this all out. So I actually have an email marketing brain right here. It's a custom GPT trained on sort of all these strategies that I've talked about, and it'll help you come up with your calendars. So all that you want to do is you want to click on this and then create me an email marketing campaign calendar for next month. You're going to give it the base ideas that you already have, and then ask it to help you with the remaining. When you enter D right here, then it's going to essentially ask about your brand and give some information to then help you put it together. All you have to do is go to wellcopy.net/GPT and you get access to it. So that's how AI is going to help us round this out, and you're going to pick your favorite angles. Let's briefly talk about the different content right here as you're planning things out in the 5 different pillars. Here's some examples of the pillars right here. So you have the educational, social proof, community and brand, product highlights, and sales. And you want to have a rough, even mix of all of them. Educational emails are going to be things like FAQ roundup, myths versus facts, us versus them, why cheaper isn't always better, step-by-step guides, things like that. The social proof emails are going to be testimonial showcases, before and after, customer of the month, product rating breakdowns. Community and brand is going to be a little bit more like founder-led. So it's going to be notes from the founder, why we exist, meet our team, what we believe in, behind the scenes sort of stuff, and any messages from the founder. Whereas product highlights and collection highlights are going to be more about like, hey, this is our product. This is why you should buy our product. Things like fan favorites, trending now, a hero product spotlight, our best sellers, top picks of the week, things like that. Whereas your sale emails are going to be your typical sale emails. A couple things that I want to note here on the strategy for all of these. 2 things you want to make sure that you include are plain text-based emails. When you think about email marketing, you really think of like these graphic, crazy designs, but oftentimes we see the best performing emails are the plain text emails from the founder, the ones that look like they're coming from a friend. We always want to make sure that we're mixing emails like this. Like, look at how friendly this is. This is an 8-figure brand, and they send from Corbin from Breeze. Have you ever noticed how the best ideas come from the shower? Now imagine our product ice cold while you're taking a shower. It's next level. Try it out right here. This stuff absolutely rips. You can send any email as a text-based email. Here's some A/B tests right here of using text-based emails versus graphic emails in some certain situations. 1.73% click rate for the text-based email compared to 1.22%. Look at the placed order rate difference right here. Just by doing a text-based variation versus an image-based variation. You look at this one here, a slight increase in click rates, but look at the difference in placed order rates right here. You can see this one as well, the increase in click rates and placed order rates. And you can see, again, the friendly sort of vibe right here. It stands out and you get more opens because it comes from a real person in the sender name. It's just dead simple. It doesn't distract people with crazy designs that are blinding. It feels personal. And look at how clear the call to action is right here. This is what we want to make sure that we implement. We want to have this in our calendar. I typically recommend around 25% of your emails to be text-based emails. We can look at Breeze, for example, and how often they are sending these text-based emails right here. A little bit more than probably, I'd say 25%. It's almost like every other email in a lot of cases right here is this plain text-based, and that's because it just works. But be careful to not send it too much because the novelty is part of what makes it work so well. So we don't want to use it too much to where it loses some of its magic. And also you can miss out on some of the educational benefits and the visual benefits that comes with being able to do image-based emails like this. For example, like infographics are really good at showing product benefits, which you can't get with text-based emails. So we like to use text-based emails for more like quick moments or founder-led messages. So we want to make sure we include that. And we also want to make sure that when we do our sales for our 5th content pillar of sales, I recommend adding some sort of twist to your sales. A regular 10% off offer is boring and the customer does not respond to that nearly as much. What we see work really, really well is adding sales and discounts and offers with some sort of twist. For example, this store credit offer. Instead of giving people 10% off, you say, hey, you've credit applied to your account, $17.63. And it looks so official like it's store credit. And it psychologically hits different because when people have credit in their account, it's like, I already have this money. I will lose $17 if I don't use this. Compared to 10% off where it's like, I have to place an order in order to claim this. But it's like, I already have credit in my account. I can't let this go to waste. And that's why it works so well. It's our best performing email of all time. We have this, for example, flash sale, doing the first 100 people only. When you say a flash sale has 72 hours, people will see that email and then they'll be like, okay, I don't need to buy now. But if you say like, hey, it's only available for the first 100 people, then people can't delay buying. And so it's like, okay, I got to buy now. And so it increases impulse purchases. Then you have like the lottery email. Instead, you just do, hey, I'm randomly choosing 3 people to place an order in the next 24 hours to get a full refund. Who cares about a measly 10% off when I could get my full order for free? This is a lot more fun and it absolutely rips. Doing mystery gifts, things like that. This is actually a doc of our 29 best performing email concepts. Is actually available again in my private school community right here inside of our email templates and resources. It's linked right here. So if you want this, click the link below to join my school. So that was just a couple notes as far as like strategy as you're planning out your calendars. As long as you follow these pillars and you follow this process, process, then you are going to be set up for success. So we have the strategy and we have the calendars. Now, number two, let's talk a little bit about the creatives. What makes an email campaign actually convert? I can tell you right now, it's not by using AI email design, because right now that sucks. All the platforms out there in email design suck, and so I do not use it. I pay salaries for 30+ designers on my team, and I use that because they are way better than AI, so I do not recommend using that. So let's walk through what makes a high converting email. So first, we're going to talk about copy. Copy is the most important part of creating a high converting email. The actual words that you say and the angle that you use. Here's a simple A/B test of a simple headline. All we did was change the headline on this email, and look at the difference in revenue. 50% increase in revenue right here by simple copy headline change. Design and everything was the exact same. And by the way, if you want a team doing all this A/B testing for you and executing your email marketing at the highest level possible, you should work with my agency, Wellcopy. Generate over $250 million for our clients. I'm going to have a link below to book a call with us. I will personally do an audit of your email marketing account for you and let you know exactly where you're leaving money on the table and what exactly we would do differently. But hopefully this makes it clear that copy is the most important part of your email. And the most important part of getting copy to convert is having a banger angle and making sure that we have that banger angle at the top of our email where every customer can see it. A weak angle is something like help your dog live longer. That's copy that doesn't convert. A banger angle that will get people to convert is you want your dog to live forever. Feed them like it. A weak angle would be you read that and you kind of just go like, ugh. Like if you're a marketer, you read that and you kind of like do a little stanky face because you're like, that is cold. That'll get people to convert. It elicits emotion. It takes the same information of a weak angle and frames it in a way that hits emotionally, creates tension, or makes customers see something they hadn't considered. Another weak angle, give your dog the best quality ingredients because they deserve it. A banger angle is if you want to eat it yourself, why are you feeding it to your family member, your furry family member? That elicits emotion and that makes you feel bad about not feeding your pet the right way. A weak angle is here's our ingredients. Banger angle is what's not in our label is just as important as what's inside. We leave out this artificial ingredient, this. Those are banger angles, and that's what gets an email to convert. And that's all that we changed in this email was the angle we used in the headline. So you can see some angles right here. We want our dogs to live forever, feed them like it. The average person will toss out 137 plastic toothpaste tubes in their lifetime, but this kit, you don't use any of them. What we leave out is just as much as what we put in. 0 sugar, 0 calories, 0 carbs. That's the first thing that you need to get down with your copy as you're writing it. And make sure that the customer can read it at the top of your emails. That's how you can make sure it converts. We don't want to bury it in the email. Let's make sure that it's clear. Clear headlines and right at the top of the email where everything that they need. Like, look at this. We want our dogs to live forever, feed them like it. Every bull you serve is a choice, one that adds up to more walks, more fetch, and more life. I don't know about you, but this makes me want to buy on the spot right now. So that's going to be the core thing that we want to make sure that we include in our emails. And then we have a couple main frameworks. I like to do the SCE copy framework, which I made. First is going to be skimmable. So you want to bold your main points. You want to split it into clear sections. You want to eliminate having big blocks of copy because people don't read that. And you want to be able to, if people can squint while looking at your email and see where the main points are, then you're in a good place. Number two, we want it to be clear and concise. So we don't want to overload with too much information. We want to have one takeaway per email. We want to make sure every sentence earns its place. We don't want to have any filler content in here. And then number three, we want our emails to be engaging. You can do that by being educational, or you can do that by being entertaining. Educational emails are great and very engaging. And so we want to make sure we do that. So here's, for example, like what this copy looks like and how we want to show this. Skimmable, clear sections and bolded main points right here. Okay, we'll spill the milk, packed with protein, 0 sugar, 100% gluten-free and grain-free. I can look at that email in 2 seconds and get the gist of it. And if I want to read more, then I can. Then we have clear and concise. There's one clear takeaway to this email. We're not trying to overwhelm them with every possible benefit of our product. It's just enhancing the benefits of caffeine. We make your coffee more effective because we use L-theanine. And then engaging. Great education, use of numbers, and everything like that. And there's also a little bit of humor in this. Don't just buy shit, invest in yours. And then look at the educational information right here. You will spend 92 days or 2,200 hours of your life on the toilet. Want to make that feel smoother. That is an engaging email, and that is enticing copy. And it follows our best practices where people can skim this and give everything that they need. It's clear and concise. It's just focused on one point, and it's very engaging. That's how we create copy that converts the 2026 customer who is brain dead and they're dopamine fried. And the last thing I want to touch on with copy, and it's kind of intertwined with design, is using infographics. So infographics are the cheat code because people don't read blocks of copy. People need to be able to look at your email. They need to be able to look at whatever information that you're portraying and visualize it and skim through it. Infographics do that perfectly because people, again, don't want to read blocks of copy. And so we want to use lists like this right here. That's way better than a block of copy. Feature tables like this. That's way better and is way more easy on the eyes to read. Timeline graphics like this. Tables comparing your different products. Things like that. That's what we want to make sure that we do. And then when we do our text-based emails, there are 3 different formats that you can use. You can use the short form SMS style. You can use medium form, and then you can use long form. Here's what that SMS style looks like. It's really good for quick, punchy messages. Medium form is going to be typically what you do, where you have an intro, some sort of quick body, and then a CTA, and then ideally a PS section, because everybody reads PS sections, and so they work really well. Then you have the classic direct response long form, which is great to mix in here and there as well, especially if you're a health brand. When you're writing copy for these text-based emails, you just want it to be super simple and friendly. And again, still follow the best practices as mentioned above here, following the SCE framework. Now let's talk about email design. Copy is one part, but we need to make sure that our designs are also optimized to get clicks and also are optimized for keeping the customer engaged. And so that's what our goal for email design is. Our copy is supposed to intrigue people to get them to want to buy, and the design is supposed to help them click. And so there are a few things that we want to make sure that we do for email design that drives clicks. First, we want to make sure we have buttons above the fold. That means at the top of your email, you want buttons as high up as you can. We want to make sure we have large thumb-friendly buttons. Notice how these are big emails. This covers almost the whole entire email right here. And every A/B test I run, the bigger the button, the more the clicks. And then we want to make sure we have clear repeating CTAs. We don't just want to have one button up here and then we never have a button again in the email. We want to make sure that we have it riddled throughout our email right here, and they're nice and clear. They stand out from the design, and you can see all the different CTAs placed throughout this email. In most cases in our hero section, we want to center our buttons, or at least have our button in the center of the screen. We don't want a button that's just right here, because that's going to be difficult. If somebody's holding their phone in their right hand, they have to stretch their thumb to click. So we want to make sure we cover at least a little bit of the middle part. For our hero section, you can see in most cases we want that to be centered. When we feature products, we need to make sure we have a button for each product. I see a lot of brands that just don't include buttons in their product section, and a lot of people don't know that they can click to actually click onto that product. And so we just want to make sure we put it clearly in their face. You can see the shop now button right here. These are all emails, by the way, that my team has made. If you want a team to create sexy emails like this, then click the link below to book a call with us. You can see right here, every product is going to have its own button. You can see all of these right here. And then we always want to end with a general CTA. We go through a product section and maybe somebody is interested in shopping more, but they don't like any of these specific products. And so then we always include a shop all or something right here down at the bottom of our emails. And of course, we want to make sure our CTAs stand out. So use high contrast colors. You can see the blue on the yellow right here. We have white over black, and we have this orange color over the blue background just to make sure they pop and it's easier for the customer to click. And that's what we want to do in order to get click-worthy email designs. Just follow these best practices. Here's, for example, what an optimized hero section looks like for a designed email. You can see everything right here. When you open this email on mobile, you can see everything above the fold. So before you need to scroll, there's a viewable button and everything you need to make a purchase. You can see, for example, a large button right here versus like an unclear button right here. And you can see, like, again, uncentered, unclear, small button right there. So when we look at our different email sections, typically like an email is going to have these sorts of sections. You have your hero section, you have your bridge, and then you have your product section, and then your footer. There are a couple things for each section that we want to make sure that we have nailed. The hero section, again, no scroll needed. We want everything that the customer needs. A big old button and all the information they may need to buy. Our bridge section is going to build on to what we said in our hero section. So it's either going to be supporting copy, it's supporting graphic, testimonials, photos, features, steps or instructions, or tips. Here's like what a supporting copy bridge section would look like versus something like a features or steps bridge would look like versus a testimonials bridge versus something like a photo gallery bridge. If you're overwhelmed with design, in my community as well, I have all of these email section templates that you can use where it splits everything out by section. So you have your hero section, your bridge sections, and everything. So you have all these templates where you can mix and match emails. Like if I want this, we can see all these hero sections. Say I liked that one, I can move this. So I have a template and I want to go to my bridge section. Look at all these bridge sections that we have. Maybe I like this one. And so then I can pull this section right up to here and piece together an email for how I want it. You can see we have testimonial sections, product sections, photo galleries, absolutely everything that you might need. This is inside of my community. Again, link is going to be in the description and pinned in the comment section. But that's going to be the bridge section. Then the product section, what we want to make sure that we have here is individual call to actions, like I had said before, for every single product that we feature, and we want to end with a general CTA. and then you're all good there for your product section. And then for your footer, the best practice is we want to make sure that we have buttons, category buttons, so that people can shop other items. This is one of the most clicked sections of your email, so it's very important to include this in your design. Your universal footer should have shop other categories in case the customer received an email, say it was an educational email about how to cook in the summertime for this brand, for example, that sells seasoning. Say it's a helpful educational email, but the person didn't find a product they liked in the email, but they scroll to the bottom and they see all this and they see this knives button and they're like, oh shoot, I actually am interested in buying a new knife for the summer. And then they can click right here and we're able to get a click and a conversion from that customer that we otherwise wouldn't have had if we didn't have this footer. So for the footer, we want to make sure we include that. Again, I recommend with design, if you're not an expert, just go off of templates. Don't try to reinvent the wheel and just follow what's already been proven to work. And I know I'm going to be asked about segmentation, but segmentation is super duper simple with our email marketing. I highly recommend, as I kind of just stated earlier, send to your 90-day engage list. Just focus on that. Once you're sending an email every other day to your 90 or 120-day engage list, again, anybody who has opened an email or clicked an email or has been active on site in the past 90 days, once you are sending emails every other day, only then should you start worrying about advanced segmentation, where you can do like hyper-targeted sends. And I have another YouTube video on that. You just look up Max Sturdivant segmentation to look up how to do a little bit more advanced segmentation once you get your base frequency down. Now just look at what these campaigns are producing for this clothing brand, fashion brand right here. Look at how much revenue by every single email that we're sending in literally like daily emails right here. But mostly we're sending at a frequency of every other day, which you can see here. And also look at the segmentation, just simple engaged segmentation right here. We're not doing anything fancy, and look at how much revenue these are generating just by following the principles that I showed you in this video. I guarantee you that if you follow this exact system with the content pillars, then also the copy and design optimized setup for 2026, you can apply it to any brand and you will be able to make money like I just showed you. So if you don't have a system like this that's optimized for 2026, you want my team to come in and run this exact system for you to print revenue on autopilot, just like how we were able to do for Ice Cartel, adding over $200,000 a month in revenue for them with these email campaigns. If that's not where you're at now, then click this video right here, which I'm going to link on the screen, and it's going to have a great breakdown of what the full e-commerce funnel looks like. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.